Hi everybody, I'd like to welcome you all to the latest ClaimsTech 2021 taster session, where we're looking at disrupting claims capture and validation. You'll remember the purpose of these sessions is to give you a feel for what we'll be getting into in much more detail on the 11th of February at the ClaimsTech 2021 event itself. A quick reminder, ClaimsTech 2021 for ILC is a genuinely unique event this year. It's a day of television focusing on disrupting technology in claims, and a day will be jam-packed with great television programs looking at each of the segments of the claims process and the very, very best technology that's disrupting it and making it better for customers and for insurers. Just a reminder that you need to register in order to watch the television through the course of the day and the variety of programs we'll have running. And if you go to ilc.com, you can register for the ILC ClaimsTech event. So a huge welcome to our main event sponsor, Richard Forsyth from Sightcall. And Sightcall will be leading the Disrupting Claims Validation and Capture session for us. I guess a lot of you will have heard of Sightcall. I'm quite excited to hear about the solutions they have. I know you're making a big hit in the market at the moment. You've got some really fascinating partnerships with the likes of AXA, Allianz, Toyota. And your product is focusing on claims capture and validation using video solutions, Richard. Is that pretty much sum up what you guys are doing?
Yeah, I mean, certainly, I think that kind of interaction, whether it's the first notification of loss, whether it's onboarding of new policies or new items with customers, it's really around how an insurer can engage with their policyholders. But then also, obviously, from a downstream fulfillment perspective, constantly throughout the life cycle of a claim and really just trying to make those interactions a lot more efficient and effective.
Brilliant. So what challenges and problems and opportunities for the industry or the claims world do you see Sightcall addressing specifically?
Well, I'll say first up, if we try and compare the claims experience for a policyholder versus, for example, an interaction with Amazon. If you need to return something, with Amazon, you can work with an AI bot at a time that's convenient for you to, report, assess, resolve an issue. Obviously that's not going to work for complex claims, but we can certainly, for things like the low value, high volume interactions, that could be, trying to emulate some of that could be a real game changer. And we see our platform as key to driving and enabling that interaction. I'd also throw in the challenges associated with COVID. Maybe by February, that'll be a distant past, but I think, the reality is access to properties, the safety of your staff and also your customers. These are key factors that we're looking at when you're trying to assess how best to serve your customers. Obviously, looking at the more complex claims, when we're dealing with highly experienced and ultimately, expensive resources in the, whether it's a surveyor, an adjuster, that kind of expertise, having those resources sit in a car for 3 hours to drive out to perform a 10-15-minute assessment. That's an inefficient way of working, and so clearly, in our view, there's a great space there for remote assessments to play a part. But then finally, I'd look at how the insurance industry, they've got a real thirst for data, and a lot of that's driven by AI and machine learning. So that relies upon having large amounts of data, that you can accurately analyze and refer to. And that will help drive decisions. So you need to be able to build up that data pool. That's very important, but also being able to quickly and reliably access that during your interaction with a policyholder or the downstream fulfillment teams. Those are critical. And so from our side, we certainly see our platform as that ability to engage between the insurer and their policyholders to really improve those interactions.
Brilliant. Now, one of the things looking through your website, which is really outstanding, really interesting and informative, is you talk about AI and augmented reality features in the products. Now, as a sometime claims director myself, I think I have an idea what AI is, but I wouldn't ever admit it in a board meeting, but I'm not sure what augmented reality is. Do you want to give us a sense of what your video solutions do with augmented reality to improve the claims process?
Yeah, certainly. It's a great question. And it's probably worth taking a small step back and understanding what both of those terms mean, because they do tend to get lumped together, and somewhat occasionally unfairly, I guess. So AI, obviously artificial intelligence and machine learning, that's really the ability to quickly and accurately compare large amounts of data and then make logical assumptions and decisions based upon that information. And I know that's an area, as you've touched on there, the insurance industry takes very seriously, because that can help to drive those kind of experience-based decisions, but also potentially highlight possible fraud and such like. And that's obviously something that's quite well known within the insurance industry. With AR, so augmented reality, that really lets us see the real world environment that's right in front of us. So in my example now, it's a computer, but it could be trees moving in the wind, dogs chasing footballs, things like that. And then you overlay a digital augmentation on the top of that. So for example, you might hold up your smartphone, identify a particular model of car, and then there will be an AR overlay with an arrow pointing you to where the VIN number is, for example, if you're processing a claim. So it's basically the ability to provide additional information into a real life view to enhance that person's understanding of it. And that's the basis of AR. So with Sightcall, there's a number of different ways we work with those two technologies. Obviously, one of our key capabilities is the ability to capture accurately information from a remote location. So that gives the insurer the ability to start capturing images of data within the context of a claim environment. So that might be storm damage, that might be flooding in relation to a particular area, could be crash repair data from a motor vehicle, which you can then assess what the images look like, and then what the ultimate claim fulfillment cost is, and make decisions based around that. So ultimately, it's capturing that information, storing that information as an insurer, and then leveraging that in the future to make real-time assessments with policyholders. From an AR perspective, it's really around, we use AR quite significantly in a number of different areas. That could be taking remote measurements from a wall, for example. So, how large is a wall that needs to be replastered, and you can then build in the cost into your claim. Or it could be actually guiding a policyholder to then take the right images that you need to upload to a claim, so that then you can quickly and accurately process that claim at a later date. Brilliant.
So obviously that gives a fantastic taste of things to come, and our February session, which will be longer and more detailed. And I think you're going to give you're going to give a fascinating critique of this sector of the claims market and the claims technology market. What kind of things can people expect to hear from you in the session in February?
Well, the session in February is really going to be drawing on our learnings from the insurance world, certainly. But also in some of our wider verticals. So in the customer service environment, the field service environment, and it's really us understanding, I think, what we're seeing coming from customers. So what do customers want? And that's a lot of that is focused on that self-serve model. So people being able to go in a time that's convenient for themselves and be able to either process a claim, validate a policy, onboard, a new expensive item into their policy, without having to have that kind of live interaction with an expert. Obviously, that relies upon those interactions in your back office, and then also being able to drive policy flows, data and process flows with the policyholder, so that then you can capture the information that you need and ultimately process a claim accurately and quickly, reducing the cost of the claim, reducing the time it takes to run that claim, and ultimately then just improving that customer experience. And certainly, when we see how that's moving forward with the industries generally, I mean, you'll see the amount of technology and developments that are happening. Apple's new phones talking about their AR capabilities. We already work with drones, for example, being used to inspect roofs or large areas of land. But also, as we start to see that wearables market and that become more of a commodity, so things like smart glasses, pulling those into those interactions with your policyholders, you're going to have that capability as they move forward, and that drives how you interact with your policyholders within their environment.
I can't wait to see legions of loss adjusters and motor engineers walking around with Sightcall glasses on, and I've got this James Bond combination of James Bond and Star Trek thing going on in my head. Which, but actually, in all seriousness, you can really see how that has tangible value and can be made to be practically very important and very value driving the claims process. So that sounds great. Listen. Can't wait to hear more in February. Hopefully, can't wait to see you guys in person in February when we film live from the studio. I'm going to finish off just by showing a short video, just showcasing a bit of what you do. But thanks for your time. I'm really excited about hearing more about what you're doing and your take on disrupting claims invalidation. Thanks very much, Richard.
Perfect. Thank you. And looking forward to the event.
Cheers.
To provide a faster, smarter claims experience, all you need is Sightcall. Integrate the world's leading AR-powered video support solution into your claims platform to shorten the claims lifecycle, increase adjuster productivity, and collect the necessary data you need without ever going on site. With live video, photo upload, geolocation, and optical recognition readings. Using Sightcall, you can satisfy the claim without ever visiting the policyholder's home. Digitally transform your claims process with Sightcall.